Yeah, so I just want to find out if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know in the comment section, and let me also know where you are streaming from. Okay, thank you so much for responding. Um, yeah, okay. So let's give some maybe. Okay, yeah, Sylvia, C. Grace, Josephine, Esuman, Miriam. Okay, so let's wait a little bit for those who are joining us. You want to also um, share our link on social media. You can share it on our Facebook platform as we wait for those who are yet to join us. Okay, so let's give some time for, maybe some 10 minutes or something like that. But before then, we want to find out from those of you who were here last week if you have some questions during your search. Okay, today is the fourth day, which is like 1 month, right, since we started. So maybe you have some questions and you want to ask. This is the time for you to ask. You can do this in the comment section, and then I will pick you up. Okay. If you want to come into the room and ask your question too, you are welcome to do so. I'm going to pick you up. But for now, I'm dropping the link to our social media. That's the Facebook platform. Please just get in there and then share. Okay. When you finish sharing, just come and then just tell me you are done. Okay. When you finish sharing on Facebook, you can tell me that I'm done. You can share on other WhatsApp platforms so that people will join us. We will soon start. Okay. So, um, okay. Before we start, okay, so right now we have our guest who is with us. But before we start, we want to take questions, okay? Questions from people who have been here. I want to know what you have been doing and questions you have. What are your experiences so far? Hmm? Okay. What are your experiences so far? So, and especially about the school set. That's something that we want to discuss before we start the session. I'll share some update with you before we start, but those of you who have done the school search, um, let me know in the comment section if you have started searching for schools. And yeah, let me know in the comment section. So if you have started, just write started in the comment section. Let's know if you have started. Then you write in the comment section started. Please, very important. If you can hear, if only you can hear me. Yes, write in the comment section started. Okay. So I only have one person. Can you hear me? I want to be very sure you guys can hear me. Are you saying you are getting some feedback? Hello? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to post. Okay. So those of you who are trying to share, just go to Facebook and then type study destination. You will see our page, you will see our live, and then yeah, study destinations. And then you'll see our live and then you can share. Okay. Shouldn't be difficult. Okay, so I'm going to invite some few people here to come up and share with us their experience so far with the search, and what if you have some challenges, then you tell us so that we'll find a way to address. We want to see if we are moving forward. Okay, so those of you who are watching us, please come online. Okay, come to the room and then share with us which countries you've started and what are the challenges you are facing. Let's see if we can address some of them. Okay. Yes. So Isaac, Mr. Isaac, Miriam, Peter, Suman, Madam Otru, yeah, Otru, Grace, Sister Grace. Please, I've shared the link and then come. Yeah. Please, are you guys seeing the link? If you have seen the link, let me know. Yeah. We want to start very soon, but we want to make sure that we know your feedback. It's going to help us to know if what, yeah. Yeah, so Miss Isaac, if you can see it and you can hear, come to the room, come and share with us. Let's know how it's going with you and then what we can do to help. Yeah. So Peter, if you can see, yes, come on board. Come and let's hear from you. What are your experiences so far in this time around? What are you experiencing? Are you getting the information you need in your field? And the experiences so far? Okay. Yeah, nobody's clicking the link. What's happening? Hello. Oh. Or you just want us to give you information, that's all. We want feedback. Hello. Please, are we serious about this? I just want us to know if you are serious about this because we need feedback. We need to know what are your level of difficulties. If the information we have provided so far is helping you in your research. Yeah, I want some of you to come. Yeah, it's not enough in the chat. Some of you should come and share with us this part. Please, if you don't respond to the messages, we are not able to give you more. We are doing this together with you. Okay. So if you have to do something and you don't do it, it makes it difficult because we want to make sure that we are working together to help you. So let me hear from you. As I may not go over to the US applications, I'll go to the Canada. We'll have our guests and then we'll close because I want to know if you guys are working and then yeah. So if you are working, then you have to come and then give us feedback. Let's know how it's going with you. Else maybe we'll look for another day to do that. Okay. So if no, okay, Isaac is in. Isaac, open your microphone and then I can pick you. So please, I need about 3 people. Else today we're not going to talk about US because we really want to know how things are going. We need feedback, and when you come here, your feedback is really important to us. We are doing it with you. I want to make sure that everybody is involved. It's not only by me alone, but you must also be involved. Okay. So I'm going to bring Mr. Isaac in, and then Isaac, you are welcome. How are you doing today? Yeah, you can speak. Hello. So those of you watching us, Mr. Isaac, can you hear me? We cannot hear you. Check your microphone. Hello. Okay. Work on your microphone. Okay. Let me take Peter. Work on your microphone. Yeah, Peter, how are you today?
Please, I'm good.
Oh, that's great. So how far with your search?
Well, it's been good. Um, since I've already been through the process once, it's been quite okay now because I already have enough of the information that I need to go through the process. So I'll say for now, at least I've had a bit of an experience. So it is directing me as to what not to do and the things that I should do now.
Okay. So what are you doing different at this time?
Okay. Um, at first, I think I didn't do well when it comes to my SOPs and other things. So I'm looking at finding I'm looking at using new strategies as to how to write my SOPs, because I think that one was more of a reason why I couldn't secure the funding that I needed. Yes.
Okay.
So
But in terms of the setting of the schools, what
okay,
are you
the
doing?
setting of the schools. Previously, um, I had to go through all the states and get the schools from them. But now I use a new search. Um, I don't know, a new way of searching. That is, I type the program that I want plus maybe the state, then plus maybe uh, a particular thing that I need from the program. Then Google gives me everything. Then I go through them. The ones that I think fits what I'm looking for, I choose.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when it comes to the program selection, how are you going about it?
Right now, I'm looking at going for, since I have a bit of I have an education background as well as an accounting background. I'm looking at going for both of them. So I'm looking at going for education program as well as um, accounting programs. Previously, I went solely for education programs, and I think that might also be a, a,
Are you
a
thinking of
factor.
writing the GRE?
Yes, sure. I've started preparing for it, and I think by the time I start my applications, I would have written it. And I'm
Okay.
hoping for the best.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the feedback. With regards to the education, one area you have to look at is higher education and student
Okay,
affairs.
okay,
This area has some funding. Okay.
okay,
Yes,
okay,
which you would have to look at it very well.
okay.
Um, I Yeah, hello. I'm sorry for the technical hitch up. I lost my connection. Okay, and so sorry for that. Hope you can hear me. Please, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Hello. Okay. So, Miss Isaac, we still can't hear you. Okay, so I think you have to work on your microphone, and then I'll pick Madam Sister Grace. How are you today? Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, Grace. Yeah, so please, we still want people to come back here, come and tell us what they're experiencing, and let's know how to advise. It's really important, okay? It's really important. We want feedback. We want live feedback. Please, not in the comment section. Miriam, please come on board. Okay. Julie, is it today's your first time, right? Sylvia, please come and tell us what you are doing different this time around. Sylvia Okonko, please. The link to the room, I'm dropping it in the comment section. Come to the room, um, and then tell us what you are doing. This is very important aspect of our um, journey. Mr. Isaac is still not working for you. Mr. Isaac, hello, hello. Yeah, we are hearing the sound from your m- microphone, your laptop, but not your own sound. Okay. Please, is we are taking much time for this. Please, come on. Let's do this one faster. Just look at this and then because if you don't come, I'm not going to say anything on USA again until we have enough feedback. Okay. If you are not coming on board, I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. So I'm giving the next 4 minutes for those who will come and they will continue. Okay. The next 4 minutes. As we move ahead. We need very and all these things, what we are doing, we want to know people who are working very hard and then we'll find a way to reward them, especially um when it comes to insider information. When the time comes, those of you who are active and then yeah, we'll find a way to award you, give you more inside information because if there is something we need to give, we'll look at people who are responding to our meeting and then everything so that we can help you. Yeah. So, Esuman, you are welcome. I need one other person, then we can proceed. Esuman, how are
Thank
you?
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, is this year your first attempt?
Yes, please. This is my first attempt.
Okay. So, how many meetings have you attended?
Okay, I've joined about two of the master class
Okay.
and then the visa interviews too. I've joined a couple of them, about three or four.
Okay. Yeah. So let's
Yes.
know how is your school searching going?
Um, I was looking at the United States previously, but now I want to also look at Canada. The last master class that we had, the person you brought on board also told us to, even if we don't like Canadian schools, we should just look at how their structures are. So I've started looking through Canada and also getting my documents. I have some sample SOPs and my CV, but I'm trying to get letter of recommendation from
Yeah.
my previous university.
Okay. So what we are talking over here is about the document. When you watch my videos, okay, you will get to know all the documents that you need. No two ways about it. Sometimes we'll go over them. But what we are looking at the moment is for you to start searching for schools. When the
Okay.
time comes, somewhere around August to September, people will be pushing down schools. Oh, apply for these schools. Yes, those schools, you can just go ahead and go and look at them. But this time is for you to take your time and do in-depth search as you are getting more information about it.
Okay.
So, we want to know if you have started the school searching.
Yes, please.
So,
I've
how many
started.
schools do you have now?
Three.
And how did you go about them?
I looked at.
Mhm.
Um, I visited University of Oregon, and I found one professor there whose research interests align with mine. So I've drafted a code email but I've not sent it. So it's there. And then I've also looked at Florida Institute of Technology. And then I've also looked at Rochester, Rochester Institute of Technology, RIT. So these are the three
Oh,
schools I've
okay.
searched.
Yeah. So if you have only three schools, it means that you are just you are just at the level you've not started, right? Hmm. So
Yes, sir.
please do well to start and then make yourself put yourself in the league. You are not part of the league, okay? Yeah. You
Yes, sir.
need to come up. Okay. So thank you for coming
Yes,
up.
sir.
And then I'll take Miriam and one other person.
Okay.
So Miriam, how are you today?
Please, I'm good and you.
I'm also fine. Tell us what you are doing different from the previous application.
Okay, so actually I have an undergraduate I don't know set in the actuarial science. So initially I was told that like getting a graduate full funding for graduate studies in actuarial science is a little too difficult. So I was solely focusing on statistics last year, and then I had partial funding and all that. But then I tried reaching out to them to find out why I wasn't considered for full funding, and also to the schools that I wasn't offered admission at all. So some of them told me the requirements and all that, and then I don't know, some of the qualifications I did not have them. Yes, so there was a particular school that was the main reason I wasn't given admission, just because of GRE. And if I happened to get that, I would have been offered a full scholarship. So what I'm doing differently now is I'm trying to work on I don't know my qualifications. This time around, I don't know. I'm trying as much as possible to get the transcript evaluation as well as the GRE so that I will maximize my chances.
Okay. When it comes to the
Also,
school search.
yes,
Mhm.
I'm reaching out to the graduate school coordinators before I don't know, I pick a school and then decide that I'm going to apply to this school. I have reached out to two coordinators and then they have responded, but then I haven't received feedback from I think about three of them. Yes, so
Yeah.
that is
So
it.
what we are saying here is that when it comes to graduate coordinators, you can because most of them too are on vacation or on summer break. Some are also working. But the best thing for you will be when school resumes. That's next month. But the best thing for you to be doing is to be actively searching for schools, okay, and putting them details down. Okay. So how many schools have you gotten now? New schools.
Um, I have actually written I think about 12 schools, but because of the responses I'm getting from the graduate school coordinators, I can say that I have like say three that I have received responses from them. So those are the schools I feel like I have.
Okay. So on your list, you should be heading towards 50, 60, 90s before August because the expectation will not be met, and then you will cross some of them out. There are responses you will not get. There are some things you want you will not get. Yes, so you have to try. So you were saying that you are trying to work on the GRE. Wait, to me, I think trying is not the best word to use. So you are working. Mm. There's a difference between trying to work and actually working on it. And I'm taking this opportunity to advise all of you who are looking for funding that the GRE, as much as you can, go for the GRE. Okay, go and write the GRE. It will help you. Now, you guys are very much, let me say, um, lucky. The GRE will be less because expensive as compared to last year because the CD has dropped, or those of you from different country, the dollar has dropped, so you can take some advantage and register. So know that the peak of the application will be somewhere in November. Okay, by November, all your applications should be done, the major ones. So you make sure that you register the GRE maybe somewhere in October, middle of October. Okay. Yeah, so that you get it. So from now to October, middle of October, you have gathered enough information, done all your preparation. Okay. Yeah. So Miriam, do you have some questions that you want to ask?
Please, no. At this time, I don't have any
Okay,
questions.
okay. Thank you for coming up. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I'll pick the last person here. Mame Uba. Mame Uba Wilson. I'll pick you. Can you get ready so that I can pick you? Okay. Hello, madam. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. And you, please?
I'm also doing well. Please, where are you streaming from?
Marcy.
Kumasi. Okay. Yeah. So how far with your search?
Oh, I'm sorry, please. I'm new here. It's today
Okay.
that I came here, sir. And
Okay.
I was trying to ask if there's schools with no IELTS or and stuff. Is it possible for me? And I also I have a diploma for sorry 4 year degree in journalism. I specialized in broadcasting journalism.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's any course for me that I can
Of course.
apply for.
Of course. Of course. You will get schools, and if you did journalism, you can get good funding. Okay, you can get good
Yes, sir.
funding. Look at areas like communication, mass communication, which is an
Okay.
just a form of journalism. Do you understand? You will get good
Yes, sir.
funding. So what we do over here is to teach you how to look for the schools, right? How to look for
Yes,
the
sir.
schools. Then you will now sit down and look for them by yourself. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's the thing we do. You all you need is your laptop, and then you having the opportunity, create opportunity, and then be working. Some of you I know that you are working, but this is a great opportunity that can change family destinies, and that you need to create time for it and then work very hard. So I think
Yes,
that we will yeah, there's last week we did extensive education on how to search for the schools. And
okay.
so I don't know if you are on our WhatsApp platform. If you are not on our
Sure.
WhatsApp, you are on it?
Please, I'm there, but it seems I'm lost because
Okay.
I'm
So
not
so
getting.
yeah, so what you need to do is to follow us, follow every nonsense we put on the page, every single nonsense we put on the page. Follow step by step. Okay, you will
Yes,
not get lost, and you'll be able to follow everything. So when you get back, the first thing you need to do is to watch our videos, look at the materials you need, look at the and start crafting your CV, start searching for schools, and then go back to last year, no, last week, look at the video, and then you will know how to search for schools. I can tell you per the knowledge that I have that if you want anything to do with communication journalism, you can get good funding. No two ways about that. No
yes,
two
sir.
ways. There are some areas you will struggle, but when it comes to journalism, you will get.
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
I'm sorry, my GPA is 2.41, which is second class lower.
2.41.
Yes, please, second class lower.
Okay. So, from where?
From Christian Service University College.
Okay. So, and what is your, we'll talk about that one backstage, but sometimes you get some schools you do maybe what we call you can do evaluation and your GPA will go a little bit higher and then you can get. So these are things that maybe when you do, it will help you to get a better GPA. Okay. And that can enhance your eligibility. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. When it comes to the question time, I will come back for you again. But for now, I want to maybe pick those. I'll pick those in the. Um, no, we'll come back to, yeah. We'll come back to question times and then pick you. But for now, I want to introduce our guest today. Okay, I'll have some interaction with him. You listen, and then we will now he will begin his full presentation. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing. So those of you on our studio, I'll send you back to the YouTube, and then later on you join us with your questions. So thanks, we have gotten the enough responses and we have to go into the business of today. Okay, so I'll send you back from the studio, or you can take yourself back from the studio and go back to the YouTube so that we can have the interaction. So right now I want to invite to our colleague here from Canada. Yes. So who will share more insights with us. Okay. So Mr. Samuel, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Would have
Okay,
loved to
perfect.
see you if it is possible.
Yeah, just one moment.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
wonderful. Yeah, so today is an honor to receive one of our brothers from Canada, and then he's going to share some experience with us, especially when it comes to the school route, what you need to do, and also give us some other information about those who qualify for other routes to come to the uh, to come and work in Canada, specifically without going through the school route. So this is a glorious opportunity. You don't want to miss this. You want to stay glued. You want to share the link to other people to also join us. Okay. So yeah, I'll give him the opportunity to introduce himself, what he's doing, what he studies, where he's coming from, and then we can take. I will give some brief questions so that he can answer, and then we'll give him the opportunity to finally start. Okay, Mr. Samuel, you're welcome to Study Destination. It's an honor to host you here. Yeah, so yeah, please tell us about yourself.
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, good. My time here is around 2:30 p.m. So I'd say good afternoon. Well, I know in Ghana it's about 6 p.m. or 6 getting to 7 p.m. So good, I'd say good evening in Ghana. And then my name is Samuel Ochampon. Been my big, I'd say my boss here, Brother Moses, just told me that he had this meeting scheduled. So I just decided to join and then also offer what I have, I'd say my experience so far. Um, I'd say I came to Canada in 2022, the end of 2022. I'd say I came in November. So I came to school. I'd say with Memorial University in Newfoundland, and then from there I was studying an computer engineering program. From there I came down to New Brunswick to study cybersecurity, and then by God's grace, I completed last year, and then I'm currently now working with the government of Nunavut in my
Wonderful.
field, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
wonderful.
usually it's not that easy to get. It's not that easy to get these kind of these kind of opportunities, but I'll say it's by God's grace that has brought us this far. Yeah.
Yeah,
So for me, I'd say yeah, from the journey has not been easy, especially when I came to Canada the first time. Yeah, because I'd say in Newfoundland, for example, I went there. I actually didn't know anyone, but through my sister and then some other people, I was able to reach. I was well received, I'll say, by one of my I'll say my aunties in Newfoundland, and then she helped me to also acclimatize to Canada. I'll say
yeah. So
it has
before
been an up
then,
and down. It has
before
been
then,
a long, long
let's
journey.
yeah, let's we'll come back to
Yeah.
that life in Canada, how education, and then but let's look at what's your background? What did you study in Ghana, and what did you do? When did you leave Ghana? Yeah.
Okay. So my background was in information technology. So I'll say basically in IT. So I completed BSc in information technology with specialty in software development and web development as well. So from there, I think I left Ghana in, as I said earlier, left Ghana around November 2022.
2022.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
and I left to come to Canada at Memorial University.
Okay.
And then,
So tell me how your study abroad journey began, and then how you ended up choosing Canada.
yeah, so it's my brother here can testify. I was started looking at opportunities. I looked at some opportunities in, especially in Germany, because I think that was I got to know from my sister. That was how I got to know he was studying there. So I got some opportunity from there. I got an offer from one school in, I think it was close to Frankfurt, something I would say.
Yeah,
I've
I
forgotten
forgot the names.
I've forgotten the name of the school.
Yeah.
And I got, it wasn't like I didn't, I got, I don't know if it was a partial funding
Yeah,
or something, but I'd
tuition
say,
free.
yeah, tuition free. Yeah, from, I think, I don't know if it was with the DAAD scholarship or something. Yeah. So I got that, and then looking at sometimes the language barrier and everything, I just try to consider myself. So for me, I didn't want to stick to just one, I'd say one route and say maybe if I get the opportunity in Germany, that's the only thing I'm going to go for. I just try to evaluate my options. Looking at trials, I applied in for the school in Germany. I also was looking at some other opportunities in Canada.
Okay,
So
wonderful.
when I
Mhm.
got the opportunity in Canada, I'd say the language barrier was not as difficult as I would say if we had compared to Germany. So that is why I chose Canada, for
Okay,
instance.
yeah. So before we continue, those of you watching us YouTube, yeah, those we want to welcome our brother. And if you have questions, please, there will be a time for questions. Keep them now. Those who have already asked questions, I will take them when we get to the Q&A session. Those in Italy, yeah, I've seen your question, and then I'll pick it up once we get to the Q&A session. So tell me about now you settling for Canada. How was the application process? How many schools did you apply in maybe 2021 because you came in 2022? How many schools
Yeah.
did you apply? And how was the process? And when did you get admissions? What process did you go through before coming to Canada?
Okay. So for Canada, I'd say it was a total of four schools, I'd say. But I applied for University of Saskatchewan. I applied for Memorial, and then also I applied for McGill. But it seems for especially for McGill, the program that I applied for computer engineering, I think there was a prerequisite that they needed me to do, and then I actually needed to pay for that before I was even going to be considered for that program. So my options ended up reducing to three. So the other school was I think it was sort of forgotten the name now, but it was in University of Manitoba. Yeah, University of Manitoba. So those were the schools, and then because of my field in information technology, so all the programs I was looking at was more geared to either computer science. If I had information technology, I'll take it. So by God's grace, I was able to get. In the end, I applied around. I started application in 2021, towards the end of 2021, and then I think for the memorial, which I eventually got by God's grace, I started the application late 2021. So that was around. I started all the documentation and everything around November, because they usually end, or they usually cut off the admissions for receiving further admissions around December, January, because they usually give the I'd say the opportunities or the acceptance letters usually around April. So they usually tend to close the applications around by the end of December. They are done with the applications. So I
Okay.
applied by then, and then by God's grace, in April, I got an offer from, or an acceptance offer from Memorial University in 2022
Yeah. So, what were your criteria for selecting the schools in Canada?
in Canada. So in for the schools that I selected, most for me, for instance, I went for the school that didn't require me to be writing any language proficiency exams like the IELTS, or some people would say like in US, for example, they'll have the GRE and some other prerequisite exams that you need to take before you get. For me, I prioritize the schools and the programs that didn't need the English language proficiency, especially in Canada. There are a lot of options for that, but it will depend on what you want, and then the program that you choose or your background that will determine the options you'll be available for. So for me, I look for the programs which didn't require that English language proficiency, because already in Ghana is an English language speaking country, I'd say. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Apart from that, looking at I want you to talk about the financial side, and then yeah.
Okay. So for the financial side, that's in the application fees and
No, no,
everything,
no. In terms
or
of tuition fees, and
tuition
also
fees. Okay.
tackle on the type of programs, whether yeah, we know there's level of programs, yeah, and
Yes.
also yeah. Mhm.
So for the programs, I'd say studying in Canada is not cheap. I'll put it. It's not cheap. So some of the programs, the least you'd get would be somewhere around between. As at that time, where when I applied, the least you'd get was around 18,000. And by God's grace, I found the opportunity of seeing that Memorial University had the cheapest among the options that I have. And then there were options for, they had a postgraduate diploma. So that means but you needed to have a first degree before you'd be able to apply for those programs. They had master's programs, they had PhD programs. So my interest was in master's and then the postgraduate program. So basically like advanced diplomas for professional advanced diplomas for my my field, I'd say. So in information technology or computer science. So that is where I looked into to be able to see the options available for me for each of the schools that I picked.
Okay, yeah. So maybe let me ask this question.
Yeah.
So when it comes to maybe yeah, now okay, let's go with the when you enter into Canada, how the things go, and then yeah, when did you how you the program was the study structure in Canada, the level of difficulty, um, working and then studying, and then graduation. You can talk up to graduation.
Graduation. Okay. Okay. So when I started, it wasn't easy because I came in later than I was expected, because the program started in September, and then I came in November. So they had already started, so I had to push my start date to um, the winter semester. So that is when I started. But usually with the winter semester, that means you have a lot of there's a lot of backlog that I should be able to get before I'll be able to basically acclimatize to how the program is. So studying in Canada, for example, the Canadian curriculum is not easy. It's not like the Ghanaian one where most of the programs are basically like theoretical. You have to know the basis in Canada, for instance, for the program that I was into. That we I'll give an example like digital signal processing. We didn't do that in Canada, in Ghana, sorry. So I didn't have that basis. And in the class that I was, there were students from the undergrad level who were in that same class who had that basis because in the Canadian curriculum they had to study that particular course. So there are certain courses that are prerequisites in Canada. So before I'd say maybe I'll just give you this advice before I continue. Before you choose a program, look at the courses in that program, and then make sure that these courses, research about them, try to find out what this course is about. Do I have the knowledge, or I'd say a little bit of experience? If there's something that you need to cover, you cover that. I'll cut this short and then continue. This digital signal processing, they took 2 semesters. So 2 semesters, that would be 8 months. They took that to complete that particular course. I went to meet the instructor or the lecturer, I'd say, and then I told the lecturer, I'm new to this course. How can I catch up? What are my options to try to see if, because I was a little bit late, so I needed to find out the best way to be able to acclimatize and then catch up to what they've done so far. She gave me 1 week and a book that had about 1,834 pages that sometimes they did in 4 semesters. I needed to use 1 week to catch up, which wasn't possible, which wasn't, I'd say, easy. I had a friend of mine, both of us, we were not sure we would be able to do this. So I'll cut this short. From looking at that, we were able to master it a little bit through, and then eventually had to change programs. And then I also got another opportunity in. I'm moving a little fast, but I don't know if we have
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
time.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So I eventually got another opportunity in my field in information technology in cybersecurity, which was in my long term, the plan for myself. I set out to have a lot of interest in cybersecurity, so I got into cybersecurity, and then from the time I left Newfoundland and until the time I came to, I'd say, New Brunswick, working like in school from, I'd say, let me give an example. You go to class around sometimes 7:30, sometimes 8 a.m., and then you close from class maybe around 4 or 5, depending on the course that you have in a day. At the same time, you needed to have a little bit of money to be able to get to sustain yourself, to be able to pay fees, pay your rent, pay for your personal upkeep. It wasn't easy. So usually the best thing that I did, and also I'd say I'll acknowledge my family here because they also helped me a little bit with this by giving me support, like emotional support and everything. That's the best thing for you to do is try to strategize what you need to do. Always don't rush into something, which initially I wanted to do. I got frustrated the first time. I wanted to even stop doing the program because it wasn't very easy. So with that, let me um let me pitch this. Okay, let me just move it
Yeah. So now to
from
your new
Memorial.
school.
Yes,
Yeah, to your
yeah.
new
So
school.
from Memorial, I completed the program in by April or May 2023. I got the new program in cybersecurity in at in a college, for example. That was New Brunswick Community College. That was where I got the program.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved, and for the college level, all the programs are basically practical, especially in the college level in Canada. All the programs are practical. They want you to do everything hands-on. So I started this second program in September 2023 in cybersecurity. In that September that had to start work that same September. The job I got was an overnight job. So we closed from work. We closed from the class. The class started at 8. We closed at 5. From 5, I have to come home, rest, do assignments, and then by 8:30, I have to leave home to get ready for work
Mhm.
overnight. And
Yeah.
then the overnight we close at 7, and class starts at 8 in the morning the following day. So I have just 1 hour to be able to
Yeah.
get to school and start the program or start the course for the day, which
Yeah.
was not easy. So by God's grace, we were able to sail through. It was not easy trying to merge work and then the school.
Mm-hmm.
It was not easy, but by God's grace, we were able to sail through.
Okay. So let's look at school, transition from school to work. What are the processes involved, and what are the opportunities that came along your way?
Okay, so um, I would say in Canada now, especially in the year 2023, a lot of people came into Canada. So because there were a lot of people coming into Canada, some of the opportunities that were a little bit easier to get in 2022 and the beginning of 2023, when it got into the towards the end of 2023, it became a little bit difficult because there was a lot more competition for jobs. Even the menial jobs that you could get like let's say um, even snow blowing, all those menial jobs that I could get. So it became very tough. By God's grace, after I completed school, I had to apply because applying for jobs after school, there's a certain discrimination that they have for someone who doesn't have a Canadian experience.
Yeah.
So trying to just try to involve yourself. In a day, I could give this as an example. In a day, I could apply for about almost 60 to 70 job applications that I could submit
Mm-hmm.
because there are a lot of opportunities that are there, but there's a lot of restrictions in place too. So if you don't expose yourself, you're not going to see them. There are interviews that I went through. Some of them they wanted me to complete some French evaluation, which in Ghana we don't really have. So that means I didn't qualify for that particular job. By
Okay.
God's grace, I applied for this the job I currently have with the government of Nunavut. In I applied before I completed school. I didn't get a response, and I applied again after I completed school. I didn't get any response earlier on until around I completed my school in June. So in June, at the end of the month by June, I applied again, and then I got an email that I needed to be here in Nunavut to be able to be qualified for the job. And then by
Yeah.
God being so good, I was able to get the opportunity. My sister was also heading here, so she was able to give me the reference that this is what you are supposed to say, preparing for the interview. That this is what you are supposed to say. So by God's grace, I was able to be. I was given the opportunity, granted the interview. They even called me when will you be available. This is not for Canada, for instance. They will tell you that job interviews are basically not job interviews. They are basically like discussions, but make sure that you're able to sell yourself in a way. Tell
Mm-hmm.
them about your experiences, what you've been through, so that they'll be able to know these are your competences, this is what you can do. So by
Good.
God's grace, I was able to tell them this is I completed in this program, this is what I have. And they said, yeah, that's not a problem. If provided you'll be able to get here, the job will be ready for you. And then by God's grace, I was able to get it. The job that I got here gave me a lot of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
They are they are they are there. There's a lot of personal development opportunities here and career development opportunities here for me.
Mm-hmm.
So in a job that for anyone who wants to come to Canada, for instance, let's say I'll give an example like someone who is in the healthcare sector.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say if you were to come to Canada through the school route and then you are done, the first thing you'd have to do is look for some of the opportunities in that. Let's say if it was a nurse who came to Canada as to study personal care attendant or personal support worker, they can get a job as a personal support worker. Don't look down on it. Try to get that, and then don't be content with what you have. That I'm staying here. This is the only job I want to do. That is all that I'm doing. Try to upgrade yourself. So if you're a nurse, I have a friend. She was a registered nurse in Ghana. She came here even before she completed school. She was able to get right. She prepared to write the license practical next exams here, and then the registered nurse programs, the NCLEX here in Canada
Mm-hmm.
before she completed school. And by God's grace, she had got it, and she's working as a nurse.
Wow.
So there are a lot
Wow.
of opportunity. There are a lot of opportunities here. So my advice to people would be don't restrict yourself. That maybe I'm coming to study, especially for. Sorry to say if I offend anyone. Our business students. If I
Mm-hmm.
want to do accounting, it's only accounting I want to do. Look at the other options or the other opportunities that are related to accounting. Try to
Mm-hmm.
upgrade yourself and transition to other places
Opportunities.
to be yes to be able to make yourself available for any opportunity that comes. Because if you are to come to Canada and then they see that you are lacking in a certain field, you are not very really good at a certain field, and it's not an entry level job, you are not going to get it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So now I'll tell us those who are starting application, okay, and want
Okay.
to consider coming to Canada, what they are supposed to do, how they are supposed to go about their school application, what they will have to consider, talking about the financial responsibility, and then also how to prepare their documents, school application, especially as against next year.
Okay. So I think we are in July. So the next academic term will be starting very soon, August, September for some people. If you are looking at coming to Canada um, next year, I would suggest try to make sure you make your document available. There are certain programs that would need IELTS academic. If you need to write that, make sure you get that. Prepare yourself. Look at the programs that you want to do. I'll give my field as an example. Let's say if you're in IT or you're in the computer science field, look for the programs that you think fall under that in the computer science. So, for example, information technology, network administration, I'd say program analyst or like any um, programming course or program. Look for that. If we go for something in business administration, financial management, risk management related programs. Make sure you have all the programs that you want. Have that. This is what I want to do, and then you search accordingly as to this school. Do they have these programs? Once you find the schools, do your in-depth research as to what the school requires for that particular program. There are some schools that require the IELTS academic. There are some that do not. Studying in Canada is expensive. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very expensive. So make sure you prepare yourself fully to be able to maximize the opportunity that you get. There are some of the schools for now, for instance, because of the change, the government they have a new prime minister and everything. So that means they've changed a lot of policies. The best advice I'll give someone is to make sure you have the best I'll say the best background, as in prepare yourself. Let's go with the schools. After you've done choosing the programs that you want to do, look at the schools. What do they require? Do they require IELTS? Do they require English proficiency letter from your schools? and how best you can get them. Do they require any letters of recommendation from your, let's say, your supervisors, or from your school, or from your lecturers? Get that. So let's look at this timeline. If we were to go for trying to look for getting a school or applying, starting the academic year of 2026 September, make sure that by the end of November, you should have gotten all these documents, or try to get at least 70% of them ready. Your transcripts, your school transcripts, that means your undergrad transcripts, your English proficiency. If there's a need for verification documents from your school, get that before November. Looking at the timeline of September, you are going to start school in September next year, not this year, not 2025, 2026. Get everything done by November, because the Canadian, if you are to apply for the Canadian visa, like study permits, it takes, because of the volume now, it takes a long time for it to come out, for you to get any approval, or any information as to if your application was approved or not. So get all these documents ahead of time. Get the school application latest. You should be able to apply for your school latest by the end of November. The first 2 weeks of December, you should have applied for the schools. There are some schools that have intakes. You are supposed to note that, maybe, let's say, as I give an example, Memorial University has an intake of, um, by December, they've closed admissions for the academic year, for the following year. So look at the school's deadlines for the programs that you want to apply. Make sure that if you've planned yourself, have all the required documents for the particular program you're going to do, and then from there you can be able to submit your applications. I'd say, if it's possible, make sure you apply before the, maybe 2-3 weeks, or maybe a month before the deadline, to be able to get ahead of people, because there are some schools that give ongoing admissions. So if you're able to apply early, you can get your decision earlier, and then start preparing for your study permit application, or study visa application. Once you're able to get it, you can now be able to prepare that this is the amount of money that I need. Now, unfortunately, now the requirement for the fees that you need, I'd say, that there some of the schools that have the tuition fees can range between 15,000 to 20,000 in a year, 15,000 to 20,000 Canadian dollars in a year. If you were to get a program in Canada, I would suggest that you look for programs that are 2 years now, especially if you are a little bit older. If you are a little bit older, let's say above 35, going thereabouts, look for a 2 year program if you have the means. If you don't have the means, you can go for a 1 year program that you know you'll be able to be good in. Once you're able to get that, let's say if someone is a nurse, for instance, get a program like the personal support worker program that I was talking about, or a teacher can get a program like an early childhood education, or that is in the college level. If we were to come to the master's level, for instance, get all those education leadership master's programs. There are a lot of programs. There are a lot of options for people. I don't know. So there are a lot of people usually like, I want this person to do it for me. I want this person to do it for me. The best thing for you to do will be able to know what you're applying for. So get make just spend a little bit of time to invest in what you want to achieve by getting the right I say getting the right information to be able to suit yourself best to the opportunity that you have, which would be applying for a school. Applying for a school would then be like, maybe I'm going to apply for, let's say, one school for, let's say, a program in business administration, and I'm looking at, I just want to apply to 2 or 3 schools. There are some schools that give application fee waivers, and there are some schools that do not. The highest application fee you can pay for a program in Canada would be around, let's say, $200, and the least you can pay for an application fee in a program can be like $50. So try to expand. Even if, let's say, you apply for a program in masters, if there's an opportunity, try to look for some of the programs in colleges. Now the Canadian immigration has also brought out some schools, some programs that are not eligible for postgraduate permits. Make sure you do all the research on that particular program that you are coming to do. If it is eligible for a postgraduate permit, it is not. I don't suggest you do it, because after you complete the program, you will not have enough time to even prepare yourself to come, because after you complete your program, you have only 3 months to be able to either decide whether you are going to leave Canada or not. Because if you were to exceed your term, to be honest with you, I had a friend back in New Brunswick. But he didn't come to school. When he got here, he was able to apply for a different school. He started at school late. When he applied for an extension, they asked him that they are not going to give. They told him that they gave him a letter that he's not going to get the extension. They gave him a removal order letter to leave Canada. For now, I don't even know what he's going to do now. We got the letter around somewhere in February, thereabouts. Now, I don't know what he's going to do. So make sure you prepare yourself as to what you want to do. Strategize. This is what I want to do, because Canada is not easy. To be honest with you, Canada is not easy as it was earlier on. They are now trying to see if they can open up the immigration levels, or maybe open up to get a little bit more people in, but I don't know. So just my advice would be to prepare yourself. Okay, I think Margaret posted in the group that
Yeah.
Canadian schools, there are some schools, there are a lot of schools that have scholarship opportunities, but now some of the scholarship opportunities are going more for the PhD programs. That is why I said that make sure you research about the program they are going to do, and look at the options that they offer. If it doesn't suit you, don't kill yourself over it. Look for something else that you know you'll be able to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that lengthy elaboration. So there's one thing that I want you to specifically throw light on when it comes
Okay.
to the visa requirement. What are the visa requirements, and what should people who have gotten admission and try, what can they do to get their visa approved?
Okay. So after you've gotten accepted by a school or gotten an acceptance letter, the first thing you need to do is, now the proof of funds has increased. Initially, it was 10,000 for the year. It's now increased to 20,000 and
Yeah. I
62,
think the
or sorry,
current one is 22,000.
22. Okay, yeah, I saw something like that, but I wasn't sure if it was right. So now it's 22,000 for the year. So that means you have to have that amount of money in the bank statement, and now they are very strict with where the money is coming from. Any money that you are not going to be able to show proof or evidence that this is where the money came from, you might not get your visa approved, because there might be questions about it. If you know where the money is coming from, let's say someone would have the money on the statement, they would have, let's say, something around 10,000, 15,000 thereabouts, or 20,000. If you have 20,000 and then you have something else like a property or something, make sure you have all those documents. If they are in your name, then that's the best. If they are not, that is where the issue comes in. The issue where, let's say, you are going to use a close relative, let's say your sibling or your mother or your father, those are the best options that you can get. Aside those people, if you are to get someone like your aunt, your uncle, your auntie, like a little bit, sorry, a little bit of like a long distance relative, that is where you need to show all the proof that you can get, where the money came from, how has this person been supporting you, or is this maybe just the application that person is going to support you for, that study permit application. The proof of funds is very critical, because that's the first thing they look at. Some people go ahead to be buying statements from people. Please, I'm begging you, some of them are not worth it. Buying statement from someone, if it's possible, make sure you just don't rush into the application. Once you've gotten the school application, way before you even get there, way before you even get apply for the school, make sure that how will I be able to get the proof of funds needed to complete this program. If it's with my brother said it's 22,000 now. So in your bank statement, let's say you have 22,000, you should be able to show proof that maybe I'm not only going to dwell on this 22,000. So you need the letter of the proof of funds, which will be your statement. You need your letter of explanation, or the SOP, as you'd put it. You need the application, the admission letter or the letter of acceptance from the school. If you have any English proficiency exams for that required program, you add that. If you don't, any reference letter from the school, make sure you provide it and have the application submitted as soon as possible. So every school and then and every acceptance letter will determine what kind of document you're supposed to submit. There are some of them that are a little bit vague, but if you were to go onto the school's portal to search for the kind of supporting document you need to add for that particular program, then that is the best thing to do. So the basic things, the most critical things you need to do. Sorry, I got a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most critical things you need to submit the study permit application: your proof of funds, that is one; your letter of acceptance, which you are gotten from the school; the language proficiency, that is if you need one. If you don't need one, then that means you need to get a letter of English proficiency letter from your school. That's your program was instructed in English. You add that. If you had any, like if you were in school and then you had any certification, like something to support the program that you did, make sure you add that, so that it show proof to the person going to approve your visa that I am actually good at what I'm going to do. And then in the SOP, my brother here is very good with the SOP. With the SOP, if you have any issues, Google about it. Make sure you draft. Usually, for me, for instance, how I drafted my SOP was I did it in every paragraph and then what it talked about. There are samples online that I went through. The first paragraph might basically be something that is basically like what the program is about. Once you clear out what the program is about, you now need to come and convince the visa officer this is how I'm going to present myself, that I'll be able to complete this program. They would want you to 22,000. No, it's 22,000 Canadian dollars, not cedis. I'm sorry, 22,000. 22,000 cedis is about 2,200 Canadian dollars. So it's not round off annually. Yeah. The proof of
Yeah.
funds is 22,000 Canadian dollars. It's a little bit more than that. So I think there's 62 or something in addition to it. So make sure you have all those documents available. And someone posted earlier, I think there was now there's an opportunity with PAL. It's PAL. I don't know if you've heard of it. I think Choco Milino has done a video about it some time ago. I saw it on my notifications some time ago. They provide financial support for some programs, but some of their programs, it depends on the kind of program you're going to do. That will determine whether you'll be eligible for that financial support. Because there are some of them that once you start the program, you are supposed to be paying the second month you start you start the program, which might not be advisable for people, because someone might start a program, you might have not secured a job when he came to Canada to start that program. That
Oh,
means
yeah.
that
So
means it'll be very difficult.
okay.
So just assess your options. If you want to use PAL, I think they have an agent that they can assign you to be able to evaluate whether you be which financial opportunity they can offer you. Or
Yes.
okay,
So There are other ones like Empower and those things,
Yes,
which are
like
also
Empower. Yeah.
we are operating in Canada. But okay, so we'll come back for the Q&A session. But right now we want to look at what are the opportunities for people who wants to come through other route apart from the um, education. We know education is the one of the best way if you can afford it, if
Yeah.
you can work and get the scholarship. But aside that, what are the other opportunities available that per your experience? People can take advantage even if you are doing application and it doesn't cost you anything to enter into some of these applications whilst doing it. Maybe you can even get it before your admission comes, and who knows? I mean, day in and day out, people are getting some of these
Yeah.
opportunities. Can you throw more light on that?
Yes. There are a lot of opportunities in Canada for someone. Let's say if you are looking for opportunities in Canada, I would say if you are someone who has worked, like you have a professional experience, like work experience, make sure you look at something like the Express Entry, the Canadian Express Entry program to getting a permanent residence straight into Canada. Getting that is, sorry, just need to close this. Looking at these opportunities can, for that, I think there's a CRS score, like a scoring system that they use for that particular program, the Express Entry. So that means just try to evaluate yourself, put yourself in the pool. If you have a lot of opportunity, a lot of experience, I suggest you look at the Express Entry first. Once you've created the Express Entry profile, presented all your like with the Express Entry profile, you don't really need to pay any money. You just need to create the accounts, create an Express Entry. Like if I can give an example, let me see. Just one moment. Okay, I'll just leave it to that. Maybe we can look at that another time. Look at the Express Entry routes. That is the federal level, and then there are some of the provinces and territories who are also offering immigration pathways to people outside Canada. Look at that. It can be the provincial nomination programs in provinces like, let's say, New Brunswick, province like British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. All these provinces have pathways to be able to get people to immigrate into Canada through the provincial nomination programs. Try to explore some of these programs, especially for, as it stands now. I'll say the people who are now at the most opportunity time for this particular stage as to where the Canadian immigration is is for the people in the healthcare sector and the people in the education sector, especially the teachers. The healthcare sector, someone like a nurse, if you are looking for opportunities in Canada, there are a lot of opportunities, especially if you go through the provincial pathways. There's provinces like New Brunswick, provinces like British Columbia. They have ways of supporting internationally educated nurses to immigrate into Canada through their provincial nomination programs. If you have, because there's a shortage of healthcare workers and there's a shortage of education personnel, especially teachers. So if you are someone who is in this particular field, I'd say this is the best time for you to look at Canada and then evaluate your options. If you are a nurse, there's a lot more opportunities for you, I'd say. Or someone in the health sector, that is the best thing you can do. So for everyone else, look at the provincial nomination programs. Look at the Express Entry. I think uh, there was one that came about. That was the caregiver route, but it's been closed to people outside Canada. So just try to educate yourself on this. Look at the immigration programs available. I would suggest the province that I mentioned, New Brunswick, British Columbia, Alberta, Newfoundland, and then Nova Scotia. Now, the reason I didn't add Ontario is now getting choked. Ontario is now getting a lot of people. There are a lot of people there, and even some of them who are currently living in Ontario are moving out of Ontario to come to the other small provinces. That is why I didn't add Ontario, because
Okay.
yeah, their restrictions are very sometimes a little difficult to get through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to comment on the Quebec province, the
Okay.
opportunities that are there, especially for those who have um, background in French, and because I know because of the other provinces, people move in because they have, but those who have French options in
French
Ghana's
backgrounds.
area.
Yeah.
So, can you comment on that?
Yes. For the provinces, I'd say if you are a francophone or you have any language proficiency in French, I'd say the best place for you to be would be look at options in Quebec, look at options in New Brunswick. Those two provinces are the provinces that are bilingual. Quebec is mostly French speaking, but New Brunswick is bilingual. So that means look at this option. If you have that now, they are even prioritizing people with French speaking capabilities over sometimes in some sectors over English speaking. So if you have French language proficiency, that's the best option, because if you were to have English and then have French, that means you've covered both sides, and you are even ahead of you're ahead of the a lot of people in the with the English language proficiency or the English speaking people, because you have a lot more options to you, because you are they will classify you as bilingual. So that means there are a lot more opportunities for you if you are into education. For someone who is a francophone, this is the best opportunity for you, because they are looking for the province of Quebec, for instance, they are looking for people in who are bilingual, especially with the francophone people, to be able to fill these particular positions. So if you are with that opportunity, if you have that skill or you have that capability, I'd say the best place for you to be Quebec and then New Brunswick. Those are the places for the French speaking people.
Yeah. So thank you so much for throwing more light. Please, now I'm going to give you the opportunity before we turn back to United States. Um, I'm going to give you the opportunity to come to the room and then come and ask your question. If you also have questions in the chat, um, you can put it and then we'll read it and try to um, respond to it. So, what our brother is saying is that it is not juicy. It is not juicy like maybe you might think of. But ask yourself in Ghana or in Africa or wherever you find yourself, is it juicy? There's a question that you need to ask. So it tells you that when you come, you will be able to work hard. You have to work hard. You have to put yourself in in the ladder, and then you will be straight. You pass through a lot of difficulty, but the end result is that if you work very hard, if you put in the work, you are going to get the results. So he got a lot of difficulty. He had a lot of financial constraint. He has to work hard, but the answer or the question to the answer is that did he get a job or what he was looking for in Canada? The answer to his presentation is that yes, he got it. And that is the aim. When you are coming out, sometimes we tell you the reality so that you have it at the back of your mind, so that it will not be like, okay, once you are coming out of your country, that's the end of the struggle. No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
not
the
easy.
case. It is even the beginning of the struggle. But the beginning where you have hope, unlike in some part of our countries or in our region where even as you are putting in much effort, there is still no, I mean, you don't have a hope that, okay, I'm going to work up to this level and I'm going to achieve my aim in this year or the next 2 years, okay? But at this level, you know that, okay, you are going to start with a struggle, but you have the hope that, okay, after this time, this is where this my level of struggle. And I can tell you that my brother here, now after some 2 years, he will start life. Life is going to be okay with him, even though now he start the work and then he has to maybe pay some kind of maybe debt. I don't know if he has one, but you may have to look at one or two things. Personal development, you want to still develop yourself, like he said, but you can tell that once he has gotten a job, I tell you, things are going to be fine. For example, he got a job in the government sector. I can tell you that things are going to be fine. Okay. So now we need your questions, and you can also join us in the comment section. So there's one thing that I wanted to bring on board. Like for now, he told you if you have a bachelor's program, those of you maybe you are trying to Canada, you may have heard that, oh, Canada, what you need is maybe only anything that can bring you to Canada. Yes, it was true at first. It was true. Those information you have were true, but now it has changed. It has changed because be, people came here. There were a lot of fake institutions that brought people here, and they have to change their policies and then try to trim the system, make sure that they have the right institution bringing people in. So now, as we speak, the best thing, and especially because of the visa rejection rate,
Yeah.
the best thing is for you to come with masters.
Yeah.
Yes. So come with masters if you have the degree. If you don't have degree and you have to come with bachelor's, yes, you will struggle. Your sanctity of visa approval is not guaranteed, but you can try. You can try. Will not say that don't try. Yes. And also some of the test scores, for example, if you want scholarship, yes, reach out to professors. Okay, it's like the US. Okay, but
Okay.
what we are saying is that there are some institutions that still have low what we call low tuition, right? So
Yeah.
some like 8,000 up to 18,000 in a year, okay, and some in a semester, which are affordable, and some too you can get some loans once you come in. It will be difficult, no two ways about that, but you may be able to manage it. Okay, yeah. So we are not seeing your questions. That's why we're talking. So please, I don't know if you are following. Yeah, yeah, let's see your questions in the chat or join us so that we can discuss. Yeah, so Mr. Samuel, we want to add some other things. Maybe it has come back to your memory and you want to add.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. There were some. How should I put this?
Questions?
If anyone has a question, you can put it in the chat or something like. I can maybe I might be able to recall something that's. Just give me one moment, my brother. Let me just
Yeah,
check
yeah,
it.
yeah. Mhm.
Let me
So
share.
it's true you
So,
can get scholarship. Look at the area. If you are doing something relating to mathematics, you want to go into the first degree, you are into the engineering, you are into the core science, physical sciences, you can get both scholarship. Some of them you may have to write GRE, go and write. We are advising you. That's why we are starting early. If you come around October, maybe we'll say put in your application. But this is the best time for you to be listening. I will not and never hesitate you to write this GRE because these things the benefit they will give you, you cannot uh, imagine. Okay, so just go and write in case you need to write them. Okay, it will help you. Yes. Mhm. So
uh,
okay, Randolph, yeah.
Randolph, yeah, I think Randolph posted message here. It said you have a master's in computer science in Ghana, right? And you are looking at. For me, I'd say if you have a master's in computer science, your best bet would be to be able to secure funding. Will be for the PhD programs. If there's the opportunity for you to be able to get a program that you are comfortable in, look at the PhD programs, because those ones, it's easier for you to get funding for those programs because there's a lot more opportunities. There are just that I don't know how your MSc, sometimes it's a little bit difficult for you to reach some of these professors, but just keep trying. I'll say your best bet would be to go for the PhD programs since you already have a master's. Because if you were to go for another master's, let's say you got a master's program in let's say since you already have computer science, let's say you got a master's program in let's say cybersecurity, for instance. For the cybersecurity, you now have to justify why I've gotten interested into this. Try to explain yourself in the SOP to get to know that, to get the vessel officer, the person approving your application, that is true. I'll be able to complete this program. For the master's programs, sometimes it's very difficult to be able to get funding now. And earlier on, it was easier to get it, but now they are trying to restrict all the funding opportunities to the PhD students. So, Randolph, I'll say your best bet would be to look at the PhD programs if possible. You can also explore some of the master's programs that might have funding. There are some of them that might not have full funding. That is the downside to that. So, if you already have a master's, maybe look at the PhD programs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's asking the document. Please, if you
Document.
look at the document, please, there's a video in my channel. Please go to the channel, document for school application. They are there. And the specific document, you get it at the school website, especially if they require test scores. If you have test scores, they want any test scores, please go and write it. If it comes to English proficiency, send your English proficiency certificate or letter from your university to the school or the program director and ask for a waiver. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for that they'll be able to waive it for you because it's not. Some people usually don't ask. They'll go and write the IELTS academic, and then later on find out they actually didn't even need to write it in the first place. So look at that, and then if you have any supporting documents like your thesis, if you wrote a thesis in your master's, or if there was any project documentation that you had for your master's level, make sure you have. Coming from TikTok. Okay, make sure you have all these supporting documents for your program in your master's program, your computer science. If you have any supporting document for that, make sure you have that in hand so that you'll be able to convince the professors that you are actually invested into this particular program they are going to do. Something like if you can look for since you are in master's. Okay. Since you have masters in computer science, if you were to look for a program like PhD in there's a PhD in computer engineering, but they have specialties as to where you want to target the research areas you want to target. Make sure you research about all these ones to be able to convince the instructors or the lecturers that I'll be able to get this particular. I'll be able to get into this. Just try to show yourself.
Yeah.
Show yourself.
Yeah. Just tell them, prove some of the work that you have done. Link
That is
your
the best thing.
GitHub, okay, your repository of maybe your codes and work that you have provided, you have produced before. Tell them this is what I have done. If let's say maybe you're a cyber security expert, maybe you have built some website from different companies, send them link. I built this website, I built that. I'm a data engineer, I've built this model. This is what they want. It's not like, oh, I have degree in this.
Yes. Have a portfolio. Sorry to cut you, my brother. Have a usually for I'd say computer science or the information technology field, for instance. Usually have portfolios of projects that have embarked on. that they can easily trace. So as my brother said, if you have a GitHub repository, maybe just spend, maybe you can buy like a these free hosting websites, get one, be able to present your qualifications or something, like build a portfolio that I've done this particular project, I was involved in this particular project. Show that, so that once they ask for it, you can simply just direct them to it, because it's easier for them to simply direct them to it, let them see it firsthand before actually submitting them documents for them to now come to look at the documents one after the other. They might not have that time to be to looking at that document. So if you have certain project that you've embarked on, certain conference that you've done, put all that on your portfolio and put it there. And then if you can share the link to them, give them the link that, let's say in your email that you send to the professors, tell them that this is the link to my portfolio. If you have LinkedIn, that is also the best. Put your LinkedIn, make sure you update your LinkedIn profile. If there's any project that you did, you can share it on LinkedIn. That should be
Okay.
the best bet.
Yeah. So Isaac is asking, can someone share the link to Express Entry and those things? So those of you who are here, those of you who are here, we want to make sure that you guys really are on top of the game. So, but the most important thing is for you to offer yourself, or let's say, yeah, be somebody who like reading on the internet. Now he can do that. But last week, I shared with you, okay, what we call maybe the Canada.com, okay, or .ca, sorry.
Canada.ca, yeah.
Yeah. Everything you need, everything we are talking about
It's
here
there.
is there.
I just literally opened it just to show.
Mhm.
It's pretty much easy
Yeah.
to.
So
There are a
I
lot of
think,
opportunities. Just look at that. Or
yeah.
I think you shared that with them the last time, or do you want me to
Yes,
share?
I shared, but let me try to see if I can share my screen
Yeah.
here, and then let's see how it goes. So
So he was
share.
asking about links to on the Express Entry. Make
Yeah.
sure you always go through the Canada.ca. Don't go through any other link.
Yes.
Don't go through
Um,
any other link. Go through the Canada.ca, and then from there you'll be able to explore some of these to be able to get information on these provinces like Alberta, British Columbia.
okay. So let me try to share. Please, this is the time to ask questions. And those of you watching us, please, I want you to still I just want you to put it in the comment section that, okay, I'm still here. I'm still here. I want to know. I want to know in the comment section that I'm still here. Yeah. I want you to post in the
Nice.
comment section that I'm still here so that we know. I'm going to give you some demo on this, what our brother said. I want to know. There are some people, they just come pass by. I want to know that you guys are still here. Okay, so I want to know that you are still here. So please, let's go to Canada.ca, or let me just say that. Okay, I think I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. So let me share, bring it to the stage. Okay, so just go online, just type. Let me just go here. That would be the best. So just if you come here, Canada, then just type .ca.
I think because you already typed it, it's
Yeah,
taking you to,
yeah,
you can just click on the
yeah.
breadcrumb. I think it's
Mhm.
down on this page. You can see, click on under the menu, click on the Canada.ca there. It
I
should take
just want if you come to Canada.ca, this is what you're going to see. This is their official government website. Okay, let's
yeah.
just say that even you don't have anything. So first of all, you type what? English. Okay, please look at it. Everything Everything about the government, whatever their news and everything, start from here. Okay. So for example, let's look at this place, immigration, blah blah blah, money, finance, whatever. So this is what you, and this is where you even apply for your visa.
The
Okay.
same place.
The same place. So immigration and citizenship. So some things here, um, maybe work. So look at it. Okay, work, temporary work in Canada, blah blah blah. Then you go through it. I want us to just like maybe like assuming that you didn't know anything, right? And then you are going to do this. So look at what we did the other time. So study in Canada, right? So this study in Canada. So find a designated learning institution. Okay. So you read about it and then you go through the steps. You know what is postgraduate work permit, explore the immigration program. So after you graduate, some of the immigration programs that you can explore, you can work here, okay, and then you'll be able to get something, okay. But let me come back here and then DLI, the institutions that he mentioned that you have to check so that you know that okay, choosing a college or find what you need, um, change your program, get postgraduate work permit. Okay, so over here you can just go here and type DLI. So designated learning institutions, and then you come here and then you check the province. Okay, so let's say Saskatchewan, you check here, and then um the institutions. Okay, so this is where you know whether they have postgraduate work permit or not. So you come here and then you click on this arrow. It will push those who have postgraduate work permit here. You will be able to know all those institutions. So you can come here and then maybe let get more of the entries. So you have all the entries here, and then you can run through and know which ones have the postgraduate work permit up to this place. From this place, University of, after University of Regina, the rest here, no, after University of Saskatchewan, Tuan, the rest they don't have postgraduate. These ones they don't have postgraduate work permits. Okay, so you go there, okay, and then come here and come and write. Maybe you know something. Let's say you want to write the express. What is this? Express entry. So express entry. So you are here, immigration through express entry, right? What I find it very frustrating, but I don't want to maybe sometimes say is when people say that, give me the link. Sometimes those things doesn't sound well with me because I think that if you're a graduate, you are above that. Okay. Once you know how to search, optimize your search engines, you actually do not need link, especially except they are let me say, I don't know how to say it, but they are specific stuff, yeah, but mostly these things you don't need. Okay, so this is this what do you call it, express entry. You read about it, who can apply, check your source, check your blah blah blah. Let's look at what our brother said about check your eligibility. Okay, so
Yeah,
check
and
your
then
score.
check your score. Yeah.
Okay, so check your score. So for example, you want to create and then calculate your score. So you start here and then see the number of points you we no longer give point for job offers.
Yeah.
Wow. So if you have a
Unfor-
job offer now, you don't have a point.
Unfortunately, that is what it has come to because a lot of people abuse the system by presenting fake job offers.
Yeah, yeah,
That
okay.
is so that is their solution to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, for example, you come here, maybe who are you? Maybe married. Mm. Then you come here. Is your spouse? No. In Canada, no. So, will your spouse be a lot that will come with you? Maybe if yes, how old are you? Okay. Maybe you are within 20, you are within 30 years. Okay. Then you read about it. Your degree. What do you have? Master's degree. Do you understand? So you go ahead, type them. So this is how you go about it. At the end of it, or let's just click some stuff and then let's see some few stuff. So maybe you have this, choose level of education, maybe diploma, and then less than do you have test? Yes, yes. So what language did you take? Let's say you took IELTS, and let's say the minimum is 7. Okay, so choose 7. 7, let's say you got everything's around this place, 7, and then writing, let's say 7. And then do you have other language? Let's say no.
No. Yeah.
Okay, so work experience, let's say you have work experience 4 years. In the last 10 years, how many years of foreign work experience do you have? Let's say you don't have. Okay, yeah. um do you have certificates that qualify?
No.
um
So you select no for this one.
no, for now, no. Do you have a valid job offer? No, let's say no, but if you have, you can. Yeah. Do you have minimum certificate of province?
No.
No.
Nomination
Yeah.
certificates. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have it, you can put it there. Um, are you, let's say, do your spouse or a common partner come with you and have at least a brother living in Canada or citizen, permanent resident? So if that is the case, you can type yes, but let's say no here. Okay. Then your partner, let's say your partner has also a bachelor degree. What did the person write the IELTS in the 10 years? Okay, there's her skill of work, let's
Work.
say 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, do your partner have language? Let's say your partner have not written, so let's say no.
Mm.
Yeah, so these are your scores. So let's say calculate. So your score is here is what?
Yeah.
So
So yeah. So in age you got 95.
95. Mm-hmm.
In the level of education you got 226.
Mm-hmm.
In the IELTS you got perfect score because that is a high score, so you get 112.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Canadian work experience, I think you might have swapped it. It should have been the other way around for the Canadian work experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should have
So
been foreign work experience instead of the Canadian work experience for
mhm.
someone applying outside Canada.
Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
assume that this person, so at the
Yes.
end of
Yeah.
it, or the person is getting how many points?
490.
490,
91.
which is good to start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. So please, those who ask that, those questions, are you okay? Please, are you okay?
Okay. I think someone posted Yum Fear Isuman. You asked the question about DLI. Please, could you be a little bit clear on what information you need on the DLI?
Okay. So yeah, DLI, the DLI, that's why I'm saying that when you go and then you read the designated learning institutions, these are accredited institutions that can provide you education, access to education in the Canada. Okay. And also both, not all DLI institutions provide postgraduate work permits.
Yeah.
Some provide, others do not. Okay. But in order to get it, you can read, you can come here and then you read, and then when you come here, you'll be able to select everything here. So for maybe you are on Ontario, and then you can search and then find out which one has postgraduate work permit, because as an international student, you have maybe to check whether your institution will give a postgraduate work permit or not. In time past, you may come with even those without postgraduate work permit. You come and then you now change the institution once
Yeah.
you come to Canada. But because of the difficulty in getting this what do you call it, visa,
Yeah.
now those things are even not options at all, right? Hmm. Yeah. Sammy, do you want to throw some question on that?
Oh, for the DLI, I would say, as my brother said, don't just look for schools with DLI. Most of the schools with DLI, as he said, might not even now. Let me just add this. Even now, there are some schools that have that you might see that they are that offers PGWP eligible programs as yes. This particular page might be a little bit outdated. Go to nowadays the Canadian government has urged the schools to post their programs that are eligible for postgraduate permits, the PGWP. When you look for the programs, make sure you search to make sure that that program is eligible. That same page, when you come to search for programs that are eligible for PGWP, you should be able to find it here on the Canada.ca page.
Yeah.
So look for the program. There are some programs that might not be. The school might be eligible for that, but the program might not be. So look for that. Look for that.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you for bringing that one out. If you are looking for program in Canada, now we are saying that these schools might give you postgraduate work permit, but not all the programs in this school qualifies.
Yeah.
So as you select the school, ask the program coordinator, be very specific, because you want that. So as a program coordinator, find out and let the program coordinator help you. Okay. Yeah. So those
Yeah.
of you who are watching us online, if you have not subscribed, please do well to subscribe to the channel, and then stay tuned. I'm going to post the WhatsApp link, those of you who want to join us here. Yeah. So Isaac, can you ask a question? Can you look at it and then respond?
Okay. If you have a relative there, okay. Okay. So yeah, I think you are looking at. He was asking something related to the CRS score that we were looking at. If you have a relative in Canada, ask when filling documents, does it affect you if you say the truth? No. So if you, let's say you are applying for the express entry, if you have a relative in Canada, like your close relative, like your brother or sister, or maybe your parents or something, it actually gives you more points to be able to get increase your score for the your CRS score to be able to be eligible for to being picked, your profile being nominated to be given the opportunity to submit your document for application. So if you have a relative, that is also the best situation you can be in because it gives you additional points to further work towards getting your permanent residence here.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So those are the things that you need. Please let the questions flow. Let the questions flow. So those of you who are watching us, what we are saying is that Canada, you can get funding. Okay. Oh,
So the minimum CRS score. So the minimum CRS score, there's not a minimum CRS score. What they usually do is when they do the draws, when they run the draws, the higher your score, the higher the chance of your profile being nominated or being picked to submit your document for application or something. So just try to make sure you maximize the score to the best of your ability. If you have if you need to write your IELTS, make sure you plan to ace it, get the best possible score that you can get in your IELTS because especially for the IELTS, it gives you more points. Look for that. So there's currently no minimum because the minimum that they do is if let's say they hold a draw, let's say for the month of July, the number of people who are eligible. Let's say if the lowest person that they can look at is they can pick, let's say about 5,000 people's profile are in the pool. If let's say within that 5,000, some people have scores of let's say 700. Someone might have a score of 600. Someone might have a score of 350. So if let's say for example they were to do the draw and then the score for that particular draw at the time is not that high, that means the cutoff score will come down to the 350. Let's say the total people of people, the highest person in that pool had 450. That means to come down a bit to be able to accommodate more people. That is the best thing. But my advice would be to make sure you maximize the opportunity of being able to get a higher score, especially if you were to write the English proficiency exams like IELTS. Make sure you ace it because that usually propels you to get a higher score. Because if you look at what we did there, if we were able to get 7.0 and upwards in the IELTS, you get 112 points. And the normal circumstance, if you were even able to write, if you were here, some people who don't even get that score for their program, but they are even still they are eligible to apply for some of the programs. So just try to make sure you ace your English test, and then you should be able to be fine, provided you have additional
Yeah.
work experience to be able to prop up your score.
Yes. And also, for example, you are married, write with your wife, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
write it, your wife writes it. It's a big opportunity for you. Okay. And
So
also,
the more experience you have, the more your chances of getting it. So just try to ace it. Yeah.
yeah. And also be on top of the game. Look at the program website and follow very strongly. Like he said, there's no minimum score, but every 2 to 1 month they have a release of the scores, and then you know that those who entered into the draw, these were the scores that they got. So you get to know what you have. And at the end of it all, writing these things, being in the pool, and then yeah, it's just part of the school application. So as you do all these things, you make yourself available for all these opportunities where you can get in. But what
Yes.
we are telling, mhm.
Sorry, I just wanted to add this. Currently they are doing there's a rural immigration pilot program for some rural communities in
Mhm.
some provinces. So there are selected communities where they are currently running these programs. So if you are looking at the express entry or the provincial nomination programs, try to also explore these opportunities of looking at some of these rural communities, some of them to have pathways to be able to get someone immigrating from outside to come into Canada to come and work. So don't restrict yourself to just places. Look at some of the rural places. There are a lot more opportunities there than even the urban places.
Wonderful. So you can look at even Canadian Job Bank. As you do
Yeah.
this, you can look at if you are finished writing your IELTS and then you have done your evaluation and you are in the pool, you can look at the Canadian Job Bank. And then any job they post, try to apply. You may not know who will pick you, right? And also, that's the express entry, the federal level. You can look at the um, what we call the
The
provincial.
provincial law.
Yes. And then at that level, there are different programs, like he's saying. There are different programs per the province, and you can enter into all this. So you'll be at a lot of maybe opportunities where you can be applying, exploring them, rather than maybe looking at only one side. And this requires your time. Okay, it
Mm.
requires your time. Before you realize, you become an expert and even help people, right? So please, let's
Yeah.
take note of that,
Yes.
and
And
then it will help.
if it's best to be able to um, maximize the opportunities that you have. If you are, let's say, someone looking at the express entry, for instance, don't restrict yourself to just the express entry. Look at the provincial nomination programs. Those gives you additional points. So let's say if you were to go someone this the example that we gave for the scores that we had was 491. If we were to go through the provincial level of going through the provincial nomination programs, Once you are nominated by the province, you get an additional 600 points, which is added onto your 491 that we just did. Let's assuming you had 491 as your CRS score. If you get a nomination from the province, any of the provinces, you get an additional 600 points, which will be added to it. So automatically, if you get the 600 points added to your current CRS score, automatically you're going to get picked.
Yes.
Automatically you're going to get picked. So you don't restrict yourself to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially those with different strong background like health. Do you understand?
Yes. Look at that. Yeah.
You have a lot of programs available, so look at it and then work very hard. Yeah. Um, yeah, so these are the things that I think that you should, yeah. I wanted us to look at a few things in US, but I think that most of the people here are gone. Next week, what I'm going to do is that we're going to share some specific things that you need, okay, to add up in order to enhance your education in US. Okay. And also next week we're going to bring somebody from Japan who is also going to give you further information on exploring the opportunities in Japan and other countries. So stay tuned to our channel, subscribe if you are watching us, and then we can give you more information. So we want to get back to our special guest to give us his final words, and we want to also appreciate him in the comment section. Okay, in the comment section, if you have been here up to this time and you benefited from his presentation, I want you to say thank you to him and say some blessings into his life. Yeah. So, Mr. Samuel, your final words. Yeah. Your microphone is muted.
Okay. I think it's on now. Yeah. So for anyone looking to come into Canada, looking to explore the opportunities here, I'd say it actually takes work to do it. So just try to make time, invest time into getting it. Try to explore there are a lot of opportunities here. It just needs time to be able to find it. Even there are people here who don't even have that much time to be able to explore these kind of opportunities. So once you have the time, try to invest the time in yourself. Make sure that you maximize the opportunity that you have. If there's the need for you to ask any question, you can simply just reach out to my brother and then he should be able to address some of these questions for you. Make sure you maximize the opportunity that you have by researching a lot. If you ask someone something and then maybe they tell you that let's say someone say just I'll give an example like the CRS score. If someone says you have 450 CRS score, you are guaranteed. Don't just take that as face value. Try to research on that to be able to prove that actually this is what it means. In some instances there are some ways that someone might give you an information that might be outdated. So try to update yourself. That is the best thing to do. Anyone looking to come to Canada with schooling, I wish you all the best, but take time for yourself. Prepare as early as possible. That is the best thing to do because it gives you more time to prepare if there's anything comes up. Because the visa process, the application process, it takes time. So the earlier you apply, the earlier you prepare, the best that it will be. You'll be able to achieve your goal that you want to immigrate into Canada.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank
Thanks
you,
for
Mr.
coming.
Samuel, for getting the time and then having all this information poured to us. We are so much grateful to you for this insightful um, interaction. We will, from time to time, come to your end and come and then get more information to help all who needs to make it. And yeah, so thank you so much. We are grateful for this time, and God bless you. God bless you. So those of you who are watching us, um, I want to say thank you for being with us after this time. And I want to say that once you put yourself into the game and then you work very hard, you are going to get the results. It might not come like maybe in the first year or maybe in the first intake, but I can tell you with persistence you're going to get the results. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's what we want to say, and we want to wish you a good weekend. Continue checking the information we put on our page and get back to us if you want to get to our platform. There is a link to the YouTube description where you can click and then join our WhatsApp platform, and it will mentor you free of charge. So thank you so much for being with us, and then we'll see you next week, same time, here with different experts from Japan and other countries who will give you more information as to which destination you want to study and the opportunities in those countries. Thank you so much, and see you again. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, bye.
Okay. I wish you all the best for anyone applying. Just don't give up. There's still more room. There's still more space.
Yeah,
I'd say that's what I usually tell people. Canada has, you can fit about 10 Ghanaians in Canada. You still have space. So don't give up on Canada. I'd say just try to do your best. If you know that this is your opportunity, there's an opportunity for you in Canada. Try your possible best to explore it, and then by God's grace, you should be able to achieve it.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good weekend and
Yeah,
good evening, everyone.
yeah. So I'm going to put those of you who are here to do your CV. I'm going to put a video file, which is mostly how you're going to put your CV. So if you are not done with your CV and you want to watch it, you are welcome to stay and then watch it. Okay. Aside that, that'll be the end of our interaction. Thank you so much, and then see you in the next one. Welcome back to Study Destination. I hope you guys are doing well and you are enjoying our content. Yes, I think this is the best we can do for you, to give you the best content, not just to put out some information that are not accurate, but we want to give you the step-by-step guides. Okay, if you need anything relating to studying abroad, this is your preferred destination. Just look at the comment description or the YouTube description, and then you will get a link to our platform, and we can mentor you free of charge. Today, what I want to talk to you is about your academic CV. I made a video where I explain every section what you need to put in there. Academic CV is really important when it comes to your graduate school application or your application to school abroad. Okay, because it tells a lot about you. You, in most cases, you are not there to explain yourself. Okay, you have a lot of experience. How do they know? Especially if you're looking even to the PhD or if you want any form of funding, your academic CV is the one that is going to sell you out. So once you don't have a good academic CV, it means that if there comes or if there is a form of funding and they want to select and look at people who have the required skills, okay, to be awarded, then you will have a problem. Okay. But once you get a good academic CV, it means that you put yourself in a level where you can compete with a lot of applicants all over the world. So having academic CV is really, really important, and of course, a good one. What I have realized is that a lot of people are still struggling because they need templates, they need people to help them, they need, okay, give me samples, or no, you don't need those things. If you do that, you will just do something which is something generic, and then you give it to the professors, or you emailing professors, and they are not looking into your document, or not, they are not reading your profile. So please and please again, I have done something for you for this time around. Watch the other video where I've explained every session what you have to do, but this time around what I did is to go step by step, just choosing one degree and then trying to generate it. So watch it. It's going to be more than an hour, but you, after watching this, you will be able to sit down and in less than maybe 2 hours, you will come out with a very good CV, and you will bring this CV for a review. listen, it makes our work very, very easy, okay? Because you want us to help you. You need to also listen and then watch the video so that it will become very easy for you to generate something very good. Okay, I took my time to explain every session and demonstrate it. Okay, so in this case, you don't need any template. All you need is your Word document, your computer, open your Word document, and then begin to write. Once you finish listening, I bet you there is nothing that will stop you from getting a good CV. Okay, and once you bring it, we will now be able to give you a good feedback. I mean, people struggle a lot. For the past 2 years, I've been struggling. Sometimes I have to do a lot of editing. For people. And this is a relief even for me as your mentee, your mentor, because I think when I do this job, it's going to help you. And it took me a lot of time for me to do it. I mean, I've been wanting to do it, but sometimes I don't get the opportunity. I said, no, I have to do these things for you guys. So please, I want you to watch it carefully, take your time, and then write a good or draft a good CV. Once you have a good CV, you can even use as a resume, but you cannot use your resume as a CV. Okay. So please, in your CV, I don't want to see anything like profile. No, it's not important. I don't want to see anything like um what we call reference. No, don't put reference there. Don't put this is not a resume. It's academic CV. So please, let's go directly and do the demonstration so that you will be able to get yourself something very, very good that will help you in your graduate school or your school application. Okay. If you really want to be part of our group, just look at the YouTube description. You can get a link to our WhatsApp platform and then you'll be mentored free of charge. Okay. So let's get in. If you really understand that you want to go, let's comment in the comment section that you are ready to go. Let me know that you are comment. It's really important to me. Yeah, comment and let me know that you are ready for the action. Okay. So now let's go. Hello. 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 Okay, so let's assume this is your document. So when you come, the first thing is your address. Everything starts with your address. Where are you coming from? You need to know where you are coming from. So you need to put in your name. You don't need to say CV. No, they know it's your CV. Okay. So CV, let's say Moses. This is my name. Okay. If you have a special title, you can add maybe MSc, or maybe if it's bachelor's, don't put it there. Maybe from doctorate or whatever, you can put it there. Maybe you can put maybe PhD, or yeah, or yeah, PhD if you are a doctorate or something like that. Okay, but I'm not. So currently, I'll just leave that. And then your address. Please don't go and put in post office box or something. No, get where you are. You have a street number. So what's the street name? So move them big street, or let's say what's your house number? So 34 moving big street. Okay, then dash the city. Okay, so you say Accra, no, Accra, and then maybe the postal code. Some of you in Ghana, we have something like the GPS address. You will see it's 5 code dash another 5 code. It tells you from city, the end of the city. So you need to know where you are. Maybe yours is 3 5 or something. Yeah, you can find out. Okay, this is your GPS address, and then you say Ghana. That's a nice way to go about it. Don't go and put post office box or something. If you do that, I will ask you to go and do it. Then the next one is your contact. So maybe you have to do +233, then you put in your contact, and then maybe slash. Sometimes you can go, you want to insert it. Okay, you want to insert a symbol, so you go to home, then you come here, insert, Then go to symbol. I've already done that, so I have that one here. So maybe here, and then you have it here, and then maybe my email example example at gmail.com, and what do you call it? You can, my God, so example at gmail.com, and then you want to put this one again. Yeah. So I mean, two contact, one contact is okay. So don't say contact, telephone, and then email. They know it's already email. Okay. And then maybe those of you who have LinkedIn account, so go to your LinkedIn. Okay, this is my LinkedIn. And then I'll see my LinkedIn profile. So this is my LinkedIn URL. Okay, then I'll come here and then I'll type LinkedIn, and then on, if I want this place to be a link, so I will highlight it. Okay, and then I will press Ctrl K, and I'll have this link, and then I'll paste it here, and then I'll say okay. So this one becomes a link. So anybody who clicks on this will now have a link directly. Okay, so like this, and then maybe so you have this one. I want to copy this, so let me highlight it, copy and paste here. And maybe you are a computer scientist and those things, you are building account, or maybe you are professional, you have some other professional account or website, you want to put it here. For example, those who are doing computer science, you have your code and other things somewhere. So mostly GitHub. GitHub. Then maybe that one, you click here and then you highlight again. No, you highlight what you where so this GitHub. Okay. So you want to make sure that you highlight it, and then you do Control K, and then the link will come again. You go and copy the link, www dot blah 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 dot com, dot org, maybe. Yeah. So once you somebody put a cursor here, there will be what highlight and the link, and the person can click and go to that link. Okay. So for example, if somebody is looking at my CV, they want to look at my work, the person just click enter, and then it will send the person. So enter, it will send the person to that. So let's correct this. Okay. Then you want to make sure that you align this well. Okay. So you go to the highlight, go to the home tab, then you come here. So this is highlight to the left, center, right, and then this is justify. Okay, so we want this one. So you see how it has become. Okay, then we are here. So the first one, if you are applying for postgraduate or you have already degree, you start with post-secondary education. Don't, especially in the US and most part of the world, we don't need your secondary school. Okay, post-secondary education. So you see post, but if you're high school, you just say education. Okay, so post secondary education. Okay, and then so this is your topic. Okay, and then you enter, then just press equal to 1 2 3 4, and then press enter. It has underlined. Okay, now you begin to name your education, like what I mean, from bachelor degrees in ascending order. Okay, so from the recent one to the last one. So name them if you have more than one. So you name, you number them. If you don't have, if you have less Okay, try to make sure that I mean, if it is only one, you don't need to name. So let's say I'm going to use maybe agric science, okay, but I'll explain to all fields, okay. So agric science, so I did maybe diploma before I went to do that. So let's say the first one, I will just say one, and then one that I want to make sure that I bring it here so that I don't waste space. So I will say there's the recent one, BSc. Don't go and say Bachelor of Agriculture. BSc, everybody knows. So BSc. Wait, oh, oh my God, what is this? Culture, cultural science. Okay. Then which institutions? Okay. Then maybe you and which institution? Okay. If your institution, let's say University of Cape Coast. I mean, at this point, it's a foreign university. The city doesn't, it's not important, but you can say maybe University of Cape Coast. Maybe you can say, you can put the city there, but it's not that important. So we want to conserve space. So we say University of Cape Coast, Ghana. Mm. So you have listed it. Then you talk about the duration. So put the duration, don't just put years. So from month, we want to make it figures. Okay. So let's say it's from August. Mostly schools start from 4. So 0, 8, 2017 to maybe it's 4 years, let's say.